But I'm Don, the Black Nomad Wingman, and all I want to do is help people and the fellow bros who are traveling. And no, we are not passport bros. We are bros with passports.
Oh, homie, my little dancer, homie. Let's dance.
I spent the past year and a half traveling Latin America, Caribbean islands, Asia, and Europe before that. And the craziest thing is, before this, I would have never imagined I could do this. And the best part is, I did it all on a budget. You dig? I met some of the coolest people with the most wonderful and majestic stories about their traveling journeys. And on this channel, my main focus and goal in this video is sharing extremely useful information. I'm gonna tell you how to protect your peace, your heart, and more importantly, your wallet. Let's get into it. And please, like, share, and subscribe.
Thank you for tuning in to episode 1 of the Black Nomad Wingman. I'm your host, the real Don P, aka Don P. Yes sir. Thank you. And so today what we have here is my boy Mark. He's from, the West or whatever, and he moved out to Southeast Asia, had a retirement nest egg all together, and he ended up meeting a woman. Everything didn't turn out the way that he thought it would. So we're gonna, really dive into this because I think this happens to a lot of guys, and I just don't want to see this happen to any of my homies. So I'm telling you his story. Mark is gonna actually fill you in on mostly what happened to him, but I'm bringing his story to you guys so that you don't repeat this or make the same mistake if you move to Southeast Asia with your retirement and you're ready to make some investments and it doesn't turn out how you plan. So look, Mark gonna talk. I'm gonna be quiet. I might interject, but go ahead, Mark. Tell us what happened. You can start it off with, how did you guys meet?
Yeah, it was a dating app in Southeast Asia. So we met on the first day, and she's waiting at the restaurant. And she looked way better than on the app. Way younger, too. So the waiter pointed me to the table. I couldn't even believe it. This chick, she's looking so young, And just this golden tan skin, right? I just love that skin type. More youthful and sexier than any woman that I ever met in my hometown. Where I'm from, guys would fight for fatties, and they're not even good looking. It was the first serious date, and it just seemed perfect to me. After, we had a serious heart-to-heart conversation. She spent time in the States and got married there on the East Coast, and she loved hockey, which is a big thing for me. She liked the Boston Bruins, my most hated rivalry team of all time. After dinner and a drink, we took a walk on the beach where they were shooting fireworks. And then we ran down to the water, and she told me some really deep stuff on the first date.
Man, really sounds like you guys hit it off. That's pretty much kind of a storybook start, right? And I think that happens for a lot of other guys, right? You have a storybook start.
But I would really caution you guys to, just kind of watch out. Really be searching for red flags. And I know it sucks to just always be looking for what you don't like, but I would just really study these girls because just because it starts out good doesn't mean it's going to end up well. You know what I'm saying? And thank you to Mark for giving us the beginning of his story. But yeah, man, usually when it start out that good, it's not too good to be true, but that's not going to be a sustainable thing. So just look out for those things. Storybook starts, it's not going to be sustainable. So it has to come down to earth eventually, right? If it's too good to be true, just be prepared for it to be too good, you know what I mean, and not be true. I just wanted to interrupt that to give that bit of advice because these girls are beautiful, man. But let's go forward.
She worked at a lingerie/jewelry store. And I told her to get some lingerie for our first, weekend together. We spent it in a beach town. I rented at this pretty wicked villa. We chilled and drank there at the villa, just the two of us. listening to music that I really like, which is alternative and classic rock. Just all my favorite stuff, right? Bro, we really connected. More than anybody from the West ever did. Like Aussies or Americans or whoever in Southeast Asia. Just like way more than any girls I'd met, bro. As far as interests go. You know what I'm saying? So later that night, after listening to music, she comes to bed wearing this, like, really amazing lingerie, dude. She had fake boobs, right? And was just so skinny, which I like. I was like, oh my god. And she's all saying, like, she doesn't look good. But I'm like, oh my god. How do you not know you're the most gorgeous woman I've ever seen? So classy and sexy. But whatever, dude. I'm not going to get into the sex.
Yeah. Well, we know a gentleman never kisses and tells. You know what I'm saying? We don't want you to do all that. You know what I mean? We ain't gonna do that to you. That's your business. You know what I'm saying? So we're not gonna, ask for too much. You know what I mean? But I'm pretty sure you enjoyed yourself. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. That's cool though, man. I'm glad that you feel comfortable telling us these types of things. But yeah, what else like did besides the sex? Then what else made you like her? What endeared you to her? You know what I mean?
The next day, we went hiking in the rice fields, and she's climbing these rice fields on a mountain almost faster than me. And we're just hardcore scaling these things. A storm was blowing in, and she still agreed to go to this waterfall, right? And nobody else is there, and it's raining hard. And we got lost on the way back, and we're lost in these rice fields, and she's laughing. The whole time my sandals are like farting with every step, and she's laughing about it. She didn't give a shit. Like we were just having the best time. I was with the most beautiful woman. It was pretty fast. I knew I was in love with her.
Yeah. Nah, those are beautiful moments, and I'm one of those guys that I try to make a decision on how I feel about a woman really fast as well. But I think something is to be learned from this, right? Like we gotta not just be so quick to think that everything is what I mean, easy peasy just because we have these tingling feelings, right? Like I feel like you have to live with somebody for a while as well, but you have to see what type of person they are because you just don't know, you know what I mean? And I feel like that is a big lesson in this too as well. It's just like, even if you feel like everything is good, you still need to take your time and vet a person and really like see how they are under pressure and how they are with different things, because sometimes we just like blow through red flags, right? Like we just don't pay no attention to the stuff we don't like. Was there any red flags though, bro? Like did you see anything you didn't like?
To be honest, there were tons of red flags. One being, she's a narcissist. I was always wrong for everything, no matter how fucking hard I always tried. I disregarded all the signs. But I'm bad for that. I go do the opposite of what anybody says all the time. I want to prove everybody wrong.
Yeah, bro. Man, look, I totally understand that, bro. Like don't 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 beat yourself up for that, right? Don't get too down on yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna happen. You are going to make mistakes, but the important thing I think is to learn from it. But is to learn from it, see the red flags, and then be like, oh, okay, I'm gonna take this easy, or I'm gonna give this person a lot of space, right? Like I think the best course of action is to, you know what I mean, just give them space, because if you don't, you know, you'll be in a bit of trouble faster than you want to be. So, what? How did you guys like? Did you guys move together, or did anything like that happen? did you like live with her like immediately, or what happened there? Like,
I think we moved in together after a month. Our first date was on Christmas Eve. It was impulsive and explosive. Yeah, all my buddies there didn't like her. But I was already thinking about ditching all those fucking weirdos. All my buddies were two-faced. It wasn't like that. I mean, they're just such hypocrites and douchebags. Plus, I'm trying to save every girl in the world from growing up with a single mom and having an abusive father.
that's the other thing I think we got to look out for that we do is we can't we can't like reconstitute our childhoods, right? Like if you had a crazy childhood, it happens. I guess you guys were, you know what I mean? You guys were moving at a pace that was probably a bit too fast. And you also had all your other hangups. And so that probably constituted some of the reasons you made those decisions, you know what I mean? But that's okay, it happens. Just like, we can't, just keep making the same decisions. But, I would say that, you know, it's cool, man. It's all good. You were trying to be the best person you could be. So when did things kind of get crazy or out of control a little bit, in your opinion? How did it kind of go off the rails?
We lived together through COVID, right? So it was lockdown. She didn't want me to leave. I paid for the villa for a year up front, 10 G's. She wasn't happy. Then we stayed in separate bedrooms because she's so picky, and I like the fan or whatever. We always wake each other up. She laughed at one point, but then had a nervous breakdown and ended up in the hospital. Then we ended up back together. I had an indoor-outdoor bathroom. She had the upstairs bedroom with a balcony and amazing views. Her parents came over for 2 months. Muslim, religious, but not bad people. She always had tension with me for not being Muslim and not knowing their traditions or whatever, and started fights with me in front of her parents and just flipping out and saying that she called the cops on me. And then her dad would get in on it, and then so I laughed, hiding from her. They were searching for me, and then they moved all of her stuff. She supposedly went into a coma, was very sick.
Wow. Yeah, that sounds like you was being gaslighted, and like if all of y'all, know, whenever you're wrong, you know what I mean? Like it's okay to admit you was wrong, but yeah, you can't let people make you think, you know what I'm saying, you are always wrong. Like, it's a 50-50 sort of proposition when it comes to being wrong in a relationship. So don't let these women gaslight you into thinking that you are always wrong. But what else happened? It sounds like it's not the end. You guys got married, right?
Our marriage was within a year of her moving back with me. Before that, I wasn't interested in marrying her because I knew she was crazy. But I'll tell you how it all played out. She supposedly went into a coma. I was being contacted by her friend when she came out of the coma, and she said she saw a vision of me pulling her out of the coma and saving her. Then that's when she realized we were soulmates, which is all BS. Then I was all concerned about her getting better, so then I got another new villa. You could hear waves crash. It was a private entrance through rice fields to the beach with the dreamiest sunsets from the living room. I think I paid 16 grand upfront for the year, plus maybe more. Within a week of moving in, all the walls were leaking. When we had this really big rainstorm, it was doomed right from the beginning. Then neighbors moved in. They were in the film industry and stayed up all night outdoors. Now we were living with loud music and their doors slamming nonstop all night. One night they had weed and a big party. I couldn't sleep every night because they're up all night, and it became a major problem. I started being an asshole towards them and filming them at night, and then sending it to the owners. But the owners would send it to them, and so then they started talking shit and slashed my motorbike tires, and I had an argument with one of them, and I roughed him up. Then all their buddies, like 20 of them, are trying to climb over my fence, knocking down my door, and I was actually scared, so I contacted my buddy to contact the village chief. And I am the one who got charged, and I almost got kicked out of the country. My old lady blamed me. Finally, we moved in another big place on the edge of the jungle. It was beautiful, dude. We stayed there for 2 years. She could never hold down a job. I was the only one working online, writing articles for a few different companies without making real money. Eventually teaching online, but she'd always hold a grudge against me. Always down talking to me.
So listen, guys, if you have a woman that's talking down to you, you gotta leave because she don't respect you. It's unfortunate, but you gotta do it.
Anyways, my mother came there to visit, and I did the most romantic proposal ever with a $10,000 ring. Well, maybe closer to 8 grand. Even then, in those fights, she'd always hold the land purchase over my head to blackmail me, and then threatened me to scare me. And I was scared of her.
Wow, sounds serious.
I was serious scared. A Muslim country in Southeast Asia is a scary place. They'll just fucking snatch you.
God damn. Sheesh.
You do not want to be in trouble with the law in those countries. I purchased land which was over 5 properties in her name, but had a contract agreement to give her 20% of the sale when it's made, but misplaced the contracts and all the paperwork. The end was her blackmailing me for Muslim law.
So all of our listeners are not up on what Muslim law is. Please explain what that entails or what that is, if you can, or the best you can.
Whatever I spent on myself, I had to spend on her. After a few months, I snapped because she was baiting me every day.
So yeah, guys, if a woman is like baiting you and trying to get you to fight her and all that stuff, you have to get away from those type of people. They're trying to get you in trouble with the law and they have an ulterior motive. Like there's something else going on and you don't know what it is, but you definitely know you need to go.
Every time we got into an argument, she would take her keys to the bike and hide them, so I couldn't leave. I was basically living in my room. She kicked in the door while I was filming it. She got on the phone calling a lawyer friend, giving him my info. She was using the law to keep me hostage and making me scared to leave. I had been practicing a quick move and started selling all of my stuff before moving. She was laughing at me when I finally left, trying to hold me hostage, saying, "Where are you going to go?" I had been working 20 years, sold my house in my country, and moved to Asia and met her, and start purchasing property which feels like was all for nothing.
Nah, bro, I refuse to believe that that was all for nothing. I got faith in you, man. So yeah, guys, that's Mark's story. I would say, Mark, you didn't do that all for nothing. I mean, it's like a very expensive lesson, but I don't think your story is all the way finished yet. I do still think you have recourse because it's a Muslim country and the laws are usually with the husband in those types of places. So, don't give up hope. Don't quit on yourself. Don't let go of, what you purchased and all the things that you worked your whole life for because that's your retirement and you deserve to have those things. But also learn the hard lesson and don't make that same mistake again. And for everybody listening, let this story be a guide so that you don't make the same mistake. And thank you for watching episode 1 of the Nomad Black Wingman. Please don't forget to share, like, and subscribe.